everybody, my name is Adam Pratt. I am the owner of the Game Grid Arcade in West Valley City, Utah at the Valley Fair Mall. And today is June 8th, 2015, and that means it's the 7th anniversary marker for this business being in business. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have come in and supported us, whether it's playing games or offering support via other means. I really have to thank my family and my friends for a lot of that support over the years. But I also wanted to take this opportunity to dive a little bit into our history, as well as give you a tour of the location as it is at present, and also do a new game announcement. So I'm very excited about that. So June 8th, 2008 is when we opened our doors. It started off in the Valley Fair Mall here. The first location wasn't the best spot, but it was the only one that the mall would give us at the time. It was on the outside of the mall next to the Red Robin, and it was fairly large, but didn't have a lot of games to start out with. But still, we had enough to make it work. We also had a gaming LAN, a PC game LAN at the time, which some of you may remember, which we had through our second location. Now, the first location, unfortunately, due to its spot, a lot of people thought it was just an entrance, didn't know that we were there. I mean, we had a sign, but there wasn't a lot of stuff outside the mall at the time. And so we were able to convince the mall to let us go inside where there was a spot, down the hallway where the Mervin's building used to be. Now, by the time we moved there, Mervin's had closed, and so it became kind of a dead zone, but it was still better than what we had. There was a lot more traffic, and so while it was smaller, we were able to do a little bit better, get our hands on some more games, providing you more entertainment. But then, of course, the building was bought out by Larry H. Miller, and they built the new theater that's presently there, the Megaplex, and that made it so we had to move again. And staying within the same mall, we're now at this spot here. This is our third spot, but it's larger than the other two spots that we had, and in a much better place. Now, of course, when we first started, we didn't have enough games to even fill this space out. There was plenty of room to expand. The back wall, we didn't even have any games along it, but still, we've been able to, thanks to your support, grow and add many more games, which I'm going to take a look at here. Once again, just wanted to thank you for your support over these many years, and let's take a little tour of the Game Grid as it is right now. Alright, so we'll start at the front. Got your obvious enormous game here, Jurassic Park with T-Rex up on top. This has been a very popular one. Got our Pac-Man Battle Royale, 4-player Pac-Man eat each other. This is super rare. This is Tournament Edition. The only arcade in the world that I know of that has this. It's a little different from the other ones out there. This Bruce Lee cabinet we just got working recently with Ninja Combat. I might throw Mortal Kombat in here. Haven't decided yet. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, considered by some the best version of Street Fighter 2 there is, along with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Get hype and all that. Tekken 5. As you can tell, this is our fighter row. And over here we've got our popular light gun game Friction, an independently made game in 2011. And then one of our prides and joys, Darius Burst Another Chronicle. This is the only English build that I know of that's out there. Island that we have in the room. Let's start off with NBA Jam, always popular. This actually is a conversion from a Dungeons & Dragons Tower of Doom that we had into that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, always a fun, popular game. Great one. And another 4-player game next to that, Gauntlet Dark Legacy by Atari/Midway Games. Got Zaxxon here by Sega. Tough but fun space shooter, innovated with its isometric play back in the day.
Big rarity here, Choco Vader Contactee from Namco. It's a weird Japanese game, mini game. You can find a video of this on the Game Grade YouTube channel to see how it plays. It's basically a mini game compilation. Our thanks to the Galloping Ghost Arcade in Brookville, Illinois for that one. Pitfall-Lost Caverns for retro gamers that are familiar with Atari. You're probably familiar with Pitfall 2, but might not have come across the arcade version before. That's a rare one. Phoenix by Century. Kind of sort of like Galaga in a way, but a bit different in its own style. Blast the Birds, Space Birds. Assault by Namco and Atari Games. Fun dual joystick tank shooting game. Got that in not too long ago. This one we just call our shmup cabinet. It was originally Mars Matrix, but since nobody wanted to play Mars Matrix, we've thrown some other shooters in here. Right now we have Macross Plus in here, which is one you don't come across too often. It's kind of like Raiden, if you remember that. This one unfortunately is out right now. That would have Strikers 1945 too. And then taking a trip around the walls, we have our only redemption game, Keymaster here. I did a review on this for the Arcade Heroes YouTube channel. I'll post in a link here, which is Allied Tank Attack, a motion simulator. We've got Big Buck HD Wild, which has this zombie game on it. In addition to the buck hunting, there's a worldwide tournament going on for this right now. You can come in, qualify on our machine, win some cash if you're good at the game. Terminator Salvation, we've had this since 2010, popular light gun game. One of the guns has a little problem right now, but this has always been a popular one. Batman, we've had this since the end of 2013, and you pick your Batmobile and fight against the Joker, Bane, or Mr. Freeze. There it is, showing off the different Batmobiles, and this one has a very flashy cabinet. One of our most popular games that we've had for a long time is Fast and Furious Supercars. It's essentially Cruisin' USA with some newer graphics, 27 tracks, customizable cars, all of that. Of course, given the popularity, you probably know that already. Sega's Outrun 2. Excellent racing title. Bit of a challenge. Great controls. Nice Ferrari logo there. That's a fun one. Chase HQ2. This is a rarity. You don't come across this in too many arcades. Chase down the assailant or bad guy cars, if you will, and smash them into oblivion. Roadblasters by Atari Games. Great classic. This one showed up in Wreck-It Ralph. A lot of fun. NFL Blitz. Play some football. This one's only the 2-player model. Maybe one day we'll find a way to upgrade to the 4-player. Crystal Castles by Atari. We've had this one since we first opened. It's kind of like Pac-Man, just a little different. Do have the act and interactive comedy here, but as you can see, unfortunately, it's out of order. Gotta figure out a software issue with that guy. Got our Multipede cabinet with Centipede, Millipede, and Missile Command all in one. So play 3 great classics just like you might have remembered them from the good old days of retro gaming. And Miss Pac-Man, also a super popular, one of the best-selling, well, the best-selling arcade game of all time. Always best to play it in the arcade if you can. Metal Slug 6 by Sega and SNK. Just in a conversion cabinet here, but still lots of fun. Metal Slug's awesome. Donkey Kong, another popular classic that everybody knows and loves and remembers. Got this guy coming in a lot to beat his score. Maybe somebody out there can beat what he's put up. And always a popular one, X-Men, 6-player. So this beast has 2 screens for ultra-wide display. Got to work on tweaking that so it looks like one to display instead of 2 obvious ones. I got Namco Classic Collection with Pac-Man Rally X and Dig Dug. This actually has 2 versions of each game, like this special version of Pac-Man, which actually can be played co-op. 1942, unfortunately this one's down, gotta fix that. Ninja Gaiden by Tecmo. That one's tough as nails, quite a bit different from the NES version if you remember that. Air Ride Air Hockey by Baron Games. Everybody loves some air hockey, and what's cool about this one is it has the scoring and timer built right into the playfield. Carnival by Midway. Never gets old. It's aged quite well, even though the graphics obviously aren't anywhere near today's standards. It's a heck of a lot of fun. You're over by the air hockey table. The next thing you'll see, probably when you get here, is the amazing Warlords by Atari. This is the cocktail version. This is a very hard game to find. They only made 800 of them back in 1980. So we have one. We're happy to offer that. If you have a few friends over here, then check it out. It is a lot of fun with 4 people. Also by Atari is the famous Battle Zone, the first-person shooter, if you will. Blow up the enemy tanks. You have your tank controls. Each one controls a tread and features those amazing vector graphics, which you just don't get anymore. You have to have a proper vector monitor. Same thing with Asteroids Deluxe, the sequel to the famous Asteroids video game. This one's just a bit harder. So for those of you that enjoy a challenge. And the ever popular Neo Geo, we've got Blazing Star, the Ultimate 11 Soccer, Magical Drop 2, and King of Fighters 2002 in this one at present. Blazing Star is an awesome little shooter game. And there's Ultimate 11, it won't take too long to get to that. Magical Drop. It's got to go through all the introductions in King of Fighters. But that one's there for people to enjoy. Blazing Angels, Squadrons of World War II. A popular home game converted to the arcade. Allows off-rails battles in different World War II situations. You play the Allies and you got to shoot down the Nazis. But with 24 levels, it's actually got a bit to it. So people always like this one. And then our lone music game at present, Re-Rave Plus. So we got the original Re-Rave back in, I want to say 2012. And then last year we upgraded the software to Re-Rave Plus, which included new songs. It did unfortunately remove the 2-player mode, but added a bunch of other stuff which made it a better game. So you can enjoy that. Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. Unfortunately, today this one kicked the bucket, and so this is the actual arcade hardware, but I gotta figure out what's wrong with it. We'll get this one back up and running as soon as we can, just like the act. Indiana Jones Pinball by Stern. This was released in 2008 and includes elements from the 4 Indiana Jones films. And don't worry, fans, it doesn't have a whole lot from Indiana Jones 4. Most of the focus is on the first 3 movies, which is what everybody liked. Shrek Pinball, light burnout on this one. But otherwise, we've recently been working on this one, getting it fixed up and playable. So that's a fun one, probably one of the more comedic games that we have. And then Star Trek Premium Pinball, also known as the Vengeance model. Stern, for the past few years, has been releasing usually 2 or 3 different models of each game. The Pro, Premium, and Limited Edition versions. This is the Premium, which finds itself in between those 3. And it has a lot of features, as you can see, lots of high contrast LED lighting. This one's an awesome pinball game though, definitely give it a shot. But now it's time for us to head over to the front desk, and I have a flyer here for the next game that is going to be at the Game Grid very soon. We've had a lot of people coming in and asking us if we're going to get the new Star Wars game. Well, we did some checking and talked with some people, and we've figured out a way to get this. So yes, we will have the Star Wars Battle Pod in here. Haven't got a date exactly yet. It's either going to be this Friday or it's going to be the Friday of next week. But we're definitely going to find that in here, and if you're wondering where we're going to fit it, well, we will definitely figure out something. It's a huge game, but we know a lot of people are looking for that one and excited about that, and so we are going to be very excited to offer that. But thank you for watching this video, and if you're in the area, definitely come and check us out. And thank you again for your business over these 7 years, and we look forward to 7 more.